Hi, welcome to the Pottery's hand-built mug making workshop. Today we're going to be making something that approximates this. I'm using the porcelain clay from the studio here, so this will be oven, dishwasher, microwave, and freezer safe. I've added a few tools to our kit. There's a ruler to help cut a straight line. We've got some leaves to add texture to the mug, and you can use any textural thing you can find around your house to put imprints in your mug. And we've also got this mold to form the mug around. In this case, it's a tin can. I've wrapped it in newspaper. The newspaper is taped tightly around the can, but it's not taped to the can. So you're going to get your piece of clay and you're going to roll. Now remember, keep flipping and turning your clay so you're not always rolling the same direction on the same side. And if you want to give it a little bit of a flip, keeping in mind too, of course, that when you're doing this, you're rolling on a non-smooth surface. A piece of wood, a piece of drywall would be great. There, once I get this about 1/2 centimeter thick, I'm ready to cut the walls. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to cut a straight edge along the bottom of the mug, and I'm going to cut a straight edge along what will be the top. Keeping in mind, of course, that that will be the height of your mug. I'm also going to cut a straight edge on this end of it. And then I'm going to place some leaves, because I'm using these as my textures, where I want them. I'm just going to scatter them around and then take one last roll to press that pattern into the mug. There. And I'm going to flip that over. Now, I'm going to take my mold with the newspaper on it. I'm going to place it so that the clay is sticking just a little bit past the bottom of the mold. And then I'm going to roll this over. Okay, so that's where it meets. So I could take my ruler and cut a straight edge here, or I can just cut a little freeform one. Your choice. And as always, when attaching two pieces of clay, I'm going to score this well. In other words, I'm going to scratch deeply the one piece. I'm going to scratch deeply the place it's going to stick to, every direction and deeply. And then I'm going to take a little bit of water with my sponge and wet one of them. And then I'm going to roll this up and give it a little wiggle. So I'm pressing and wiggling, and that's what's going to join those two. And then I can clean this edge up later with my finger, with my sponge, whichever. Now we need to make a bottom. So I'm going to place this on that extra piece of clay. I'm going to cut around the base of this mug and take off the extra. And again, I have to scratch all the way around deeply, every direction. This is why it's nice to have that clay going beyond your mold a little bit. And then I'm going to take my sponge and dab some water on here and wiggle this on. And again, I can clean this up later. Now, if you want to keep this as a tumbler, you certainly can, but I'm going to show you how to put a handle on this. But I'm going to take a piece of clay, I'm going to roll this out into a coil, a snake if you like. Now, you can keep it as a tubular handle, but I find them uncomfortable. So my personal taste is I'm going to flatten that a little bit. And then to stick this on, of course, I have to scratch the top of the handle. I'm not going to bother with the bottom yet because I don't know how long I want it. But I am going to scratch up here where it's going to stick on the mug, and I'm going to scratch down at the bottom here where it's going to stick on the mug. I'm going to add a little bit of water, I'm going to wiggle the handle on here, pushing it in and giving it a wiggle. Okay, that handle's too big, so I'm going to take off a little bit. There, that's better. And then I'm going to scratch the bottom of this and wiggle it on. Now that the handle's pretty much stuck on there, I can take my can out, and this is where the newspaper's handy. Out comes the can, out comes the newspaper, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to give that a little extra push, because I'm going to hold my finger inside, wiggle that handle on to make sure it sticks. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the top here and pinch that lip to make it a little bit thinner. Otherwise, it's going to be uncomfortable to drink from. I can also change the shape slightly at the top. And there you have it. Once this is cleaned up, you're going to have a lovely looking mug.